Scaling your digital marketing team, book review, chapter number 3, defining your goals. So, Mads, how important is it for a business owner to start defining goals within the business?
It's very, very important, particularly in the early days. If you get a good structure in on how to set goals and how to have good KPIs in the early days, it really makes your growth easier. And it makes it easier to have a solid system that you can use over time. I think personally, for me, the key thing is when you're looking at goals, it's really understand what are the key things to measure. So for me, one of the absolutely most critical ones is customer lifetime value. So you want to understand as early as possible, as you can in the business, is what is a customer worth to you, right? And that will then, from a marketing standpoint, tie into you understanding what can I afford to pay for a customer. So from that, you can then look at what is the cost of acquiring a customer, and you can break that down and you can see, okay, we're acquiring customers on this particular channel for this amount. We're acquiring customers on this channel for a particular amount. And you can utilize that data to understand how to scale. Some channels are very scalable and some channels kind of hit a limit, right? So sometimes with SEO, for example, if you're ranking number 1 on most of the relevant keywords, you might not be able to push it up more. So there might be limits. And the same when you're doing PPC, right? Like you might do very successful, profitable campaigns with $1,000 or 10 grand. But if you suddenly try and scale to 100K, there might not be enough audience for it to scale. So knowing your numbers, setting really good targets is critical. It's also very important in terms of your team, so that your team know where they're going and you can incentivize your team based on that as well. Because obviously you want to have goals that drives your team and motivates your team to achieve great things, right? So I typically tend to have 3 core goals. So I tend to have this is the minimum goal you need to hit to work here. And I say that a little bit in a funny way, right? But I like having a basic goal and saying this is the starting point. And then we typically have 2 steps with sort of bonuses involved and saying, if we get to the first bonus step, here's the bonus and here's that goal. The second bonus step is this, and if we hit that, here's the bonus for that, right? So that's how we like doing it in a lot of our businesses. And that enables you to really get around when you hit your goals, really celebrate the successes, making sure people are rewarded, but also just show that you appreciate the performance that people deliver.
Yeah, for sure. I think the journey is important. And like you just said then, touching upon celebrating those mini wins and mini successes is important. But it's also important day to day for the staff to get the dopamine kind of kicks and hits where if they get set and they've been defined a goal, it could even be a certain amount of content to produce daily or how many backlinks from a digital marketing standpoint that they need to be acquiring on a daily or weekly basis. And if each person starts to be set certain targets and certain goals, when they do hit it, they get that dopamine of like ticking it off. And like you said, you can incentivize the staff as well. So yeah, chapter number 3 of defining your goals for me. I'm a numbers man. So I quite like setting targets and goals and having KPIs put in place. But anyone watching this, we hope you like our book review, Scaling a Digital Marketing Team, chapter number 3.